Attention shoppers. Tonight on the checkout, getting that new car smell without deals that stink. Ben gets back to nature, and Zoe asks why banks don't take our money quicker.
Natural. When a business wants you to buy their product, using this word seems so obvious. In fact, a leading US consumer group found it's the second most looked for claim on a packet, presumably after bacon injected. And so, when we see natural on a packet, what sort of assumptions do we make about the product inside?
Less preservatives, less chemicals.
Low in fat, low in sugar, potentially.
When they grow the crops and all that, they don't put much chemicals in that.
Straight away, just kind of, bang from the ground or the tree and straight into the consumer's hands.
So, do we think that natural means the same thing as they do? No, of course not. It's the checkout. Come on. And there are a couple of reasons for this. The first is that the word natural is actually quite difficult to define in a useful way. For example, take a look at what the ACCC reckons in their Food Descriptors Guide to the Trade Practices Act. The ACCC says that...
Natural claims imply that the product is made up of natural ingredients.
Great! Can you define it without using the word natural?
That is, ingredients nature has produced.
OK, well that's not hugely instructive, but...
I'm not done yet.
Oh, sorry.
Not man-made or interfered with by man.
Right, well that actually kind of complicates things a little bit, because what does it mean exactly to interfere with food? I mean, surely any food that you find in a shop, whether it's been processed by chemicals or just sliced or dried or combined with another food or picked up and transported hundreds of kilometres away, has been interfered with by man in some way. And despite these guidelines, you still... Okay, sorry.
Careful, you're trampling my strawberries.
Actually, I'm interfering with them. So that... Oh, sorry. Yep, good. Keep... Sorry. Yeah, and despite these guidelines, you still get products like Raid's...
100% natural.
Fly poison. Hang on a second. Enhance that image. Enhance. Enhance. Now rotate. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's got a natural ingredient inside all the chemicals. So by now, you'll be seeing the problem. The word natural is basically meaningless, but still allows consumers to draw their own positive conclusions. Conclusions like...
If it says natural, I'll generally think it's healthy.
It's more healthy.
But, of course, something can be natural and pure and untouched by man and still be bad for you. The cane sugar in these natural confectionery company lollies is still sugar. This au natural duck fat is still fat. And these 100% natural snakes are still snakes. And I could go on, but I won't, because there are snakes here. But the reverse is also true. Something can be very interfered with by man and still be good for you. Take tofu. There is no tofu tree. These blandness dice go through an awful lot before they're ready to ruin a meal. Check it out.
Tofu is made from soybeans. They start by soaking the soybeans onto a conveyor belt. A rotating device transports them to a crushing machine through a filtering screen, heating it in a steam cooker.
So by now,
then
still going.
Passes through a cone-shaped filter. It goes into a coagulation tank. Then they add the coagulant, magnesium chloride.
Which is all by way of saying...
They run it through a perforated cylinder into large rectangular molds.
Come on!
The blocks go into a pasteurizer. They drop into a cooling basin for about an hour.
Yeah, okay, that's enough. But you can see the point that we're making. Hey, I know you only like natural stuff, so you're probably not going to want any of the next meal. It's got 1-hexanol in it, butyrobitanoate, and xyloglucoside.
Yeah, I'll pass.
The meal I was referring to was an apple. Don't worry though, here's a meal you can absolutely eat. It's 100% natural. Ha! You just ate a pile of MSG and formaldehyde.
Did you invite me here just to mock me?
So, what can you read into the word natural? Nothing. If you are looking for something that's low in salt or sugar or fat, or if you're trying to avoid a specific chemical, then look at the nutritional information. Basically, don't assume anything about a product just because it says natural on the packet.
Hey,
I'm sorry, yeah, that's my bad. Sorry. Yeah, because despite the fact that statistically it will influence you, it shouldn't. Naturally. Ah, that's where that went.
Baby Jogger City Elite Pram. Warning, this stroller is not suitable for jogging.
What?
Baby Jogger City Mini GT. Warning, this stroller is not suitable for jogging.
Any of your baby joggers suitable for jogging?
No. Yes, this one. Baby joggers. Well, at least they're suitable for a baby, I think.
You know what? I hate banks. And chances are you probably do too. According to Edelman's Trust Barometer, banks are the second least trusted industry in the world, right on par with that other despised industry. Never mind. Seems like banks are always trying to do a number on us. For example, when you transfer money to someone who uses a different bank, the money seems to leave your bank immediately, but it can take days before it lands in the account of the other guy. So what's the deal with that? Don't you play dumb with me. Ralph? Is the bank pocketing interest we should be earning? Or is it using our money to make short-term trades? Or fishing for overdraft fees? Or some other unsubstantiated rumour I read on the internet? What the hell is going on? Because transfers between people who use the same bank happen in a flash. Isn't that right, Ralph? You're good. I'll break you. All right, this is a stick-up! Give me all my money! Oh, yeah, it's all about the Nellie Melbers. Come on, let's go! Say, look who's coming this way. It's Chris Hamilton from the Australian Payments Clearing Association. He'll give us the scoop. Say, Hamilton, when a transfer going to a different bank takes ages, is that because the shady cats at the bank are nicking my interest? What? Why? Well, it's complicated. But if the banks aren't being a pack of massive then what the dickens is going on? Let's take a look around the back. This is how we think bank transfers should work.
My bank should send your bank flying money using a special technology computer.
Unfortunately, real bank transfers are nowhere near that fun. So how do they really work? Well, just say Craig here's had some bad luck on the nags, and he wants me to transfer him some money. Yeah, no worries, you old bugger. So I make the transfer, then what happens?
Well, my bank sends his bank something called a clearing message. When they receive it, the money is his to waste. But not so fast. The clearing message for this transfer is bundled together with all the other clearing messages going from my bank to Craig's bank. All banks send and receive these bundles of clearing messages 6 times a day, under the supervision of the Australian Payments Clearing Association. The problem is, you have no idea how long it might take your bank to put your clearing message into one of those bundles.
It's like trying to send your money by post, only you have to rely on a carrier pigeon to take it to the post box, and you have no idea whether that carrier pigeon is going to make it in time. Sorry. And if your complaints are anything to go by, that carrier pigeon has a lot of issues. Christ, you're terrible at running. And which bank is doing something about it? The Commonwealth of Australia's Reserve Bank. Step on it! The RBA and its buddies are developing a new system that will make bank transfers instant, sometime in the next 2 years. In the meantime, if you really need to make a transfer to a different bank happen pronto, like, say, to pay your getaway driver, there are a few ways to make it happen in a flash. Using NAB's Flick app is not one of them. They promise instant transfers between Flick app users no matter which bank they're with. But in the mighty fine print, they also say that transfers outside the NAB usually go through on the next business day. You know I'm good for it. CommBank and ANZ offer similar apps, but neither of them claim to be instant. So let's forget about technology for a minute and look at the good old-fashioned ways. Some banks offer a real-time instant transfer if you go into one of their branches to make the deposit, but they have to use a faster, more expensive service to do that, so it usually comes with a fee. Hey, they're the real robbers! Thanks, mate. But if you're that desperate to make an instant transfer that you're willing to go into your bank and pay a fee, why not go straight to their bank and make a cash deposit? That way the transaction is free and instant. Oh, I know. These banks are bloody shocking, aren't they? Oh. Sorry.
So, you're buying a new car. But don't let that new car smell go to your thinky parts.
Because reality shows on MTV aren't the only place where people try to pimp your new ride with showy extras you don't need.
And check this out. You got 5 Exonic monitors. You officially been pimped.
So yes, at last, here's that Pimp My Ride parody you've been waiting for.
About fucking time.
Unnecessarily pimp my ride.
Car dealers are always trying to increase their profit margins. That's why after you've haggled and bargained and finally signed the contract, it's likely you'll be introduced to somebody called the aftermarket accessories specialist.
What? Yeah! What?
Whose job is to sell you...
Okay, dog.
Don't call me that.
To keep your fly new ride looking fresh, you're gonna need a protection package. We're talking a unique collection of top quality stuff for keeping your luxury vehicle in hella pristine condition.
Dealerships love flogging you protection packages. It's their version of would you like fries with that. Sometimes they're a product of the car brand.
BMW Seal and Protect,
which uses
a special impregnating agent.
That was my nickname in high school.
But many dealers outsource to a third-party service.
Like Motor One, who claim they treat 1 in every 2 new cars on the road in Australia with their high-performance exterior and interior coating. And with descriptions for their products like the X-Pack, you can see why.
Extreme! Self-cleaning. Nanotechnology. Battery shield.
And all this doesn't come cheap either. One dealership quoted us over $2,000 for the X-Pack.
Damn straight it's expensive. What if I told you we also protect your new car with French champagne?
I'd have to take your word for it, because when we spoke to Motor One and asked what the claims of their X-Pack were based on, or whether they'd ever been independently tested, they responded through a lawyer who told us,
"We are aware of the style of the program and decline to comment."
So there it is. Motor One's answer to do you have evidence your product works or has ever been tested is no. Comment.
Unnecessarily pimp my ride.
Let's lawyer up, son.
I've asked dealers if they use their own protection systems on their cars and they invariably say no. So my advice is don't bother. Wash your car regularly, wax it once a year and you'll be fine.
Any true player knows to keep your car cool, you gotta get those windows tinted.
Well, maybe. Car insurer RACV says there's little evidence that tinting provides any real benefit in keeping a car cool.
Say what?
Temperature cool. And it could be dangerous.
The Institute of Transportation Engineers Australia and New Zealand says there's increasing evidence that tinting has a detrimental effect on road safety, making it harder to see pedestrians and cyclists at night.
And when it comes to protecting your skin, the Cancer Council says that regular car windows already block about 97% of UVB radiation and 37% of UVA radiation. So unless you're spending a lot of time in the car with your kids, it's really not worth it. But if you do spend as much time in the car as, say, a travelling salesperson or a truckie...
Or a pimp.
Then it might be worth it. And when it comes to glare, the RACV says just wear sunglasses, which unlike tinted windows can be easily removed on cloudy days or at night.
Speak for yourself, shorty.
Tinting is mainly cosmetic, so if you really want it, shop around first to make sure you're getting the best price and quality, because again, the dealer could overcharge you for it.
Oh yeah, I'm selling like it ain't no thing. To navigate your way around the hood, we're going to hook up with a brand new, state-of-the-art, inbuilt GPS.
If you're willing to pay heaps more to have your GPS built in, that's up to you, and most new models come with them already, but they usually come with maps that need expensive new updates every few years. In many states in Australia, you can just use your smartphone as a GPS.
Compton.
Did you say Canberra?
If and only if it's secured to a commercially designed holder that's fixed to the vehicle that you can't touch while you're driving. That'll cost you around $50.
Hold up. If you're in Tasmania, South Australia or the ACT in your whip,
that means car.
You can't even use the GPS on your phone at all.
No, but you can use a regular portable GPS that'll cost you a few $100, and they often come with map updates for the life of the product.
Don't hate the player, hate the game!
Unnecessarily pimp my ride.
In an expensive new ride, you're gonna need extra protection that's loaded with terms and conditions. We're gonna take your warranty and put your warranty on top of your warranty.
Extended warranties are a huge moneymaker for dealers who can often get commissions of more than 50%. Like we always say on the checkout,
Woo, making it rain.
Ask what this warranty will get you that the Australian Consumer Law doesn't already.
Which means new cars must be of acceptable quality, durable, and reasonably fit for purpose.
Consumer groups say you should be wary of extended warranties and that they can be a dubious investment.
That's what those fools said about my grills business.
They can be expensive, difficult to claim, and can force you to service your car at a specific time and place at your cost.
Sounds just like my girl.
Even if you fulfill all of the conditions and all of the paperwork, you still may not be covered because some extended warranties give the provider absolute discretion to say no to your claim.
No one's ever said no to this claim.
Get out! So when you're buying a new car, before you go pimping it out, shop around. And save your money for things that you'll actually need. Like an inbuilt customized disco aquarium with not one, but two self-functioning LED screens!
He just got pimped.
Yes, dear.
Huge discounts!
Don't pay $199.99, now $199.99. Save $0. That's 0%.
And zero proofreading.
Huge diversity!
Australian fine china, made in UAE.
Is that the United Australian Emirates?
Huge danger!
Plastic knives. It's against the law for anyone under 18 to buy a knife.
Oh, there goes my life of plastic crime.
Huge benefits!
Simply spend $0 or more to be on track to earn your $0 cash for Easter gift card.
It's never been easier to earn nothing.
Huge waiting times.
iPod is disabled. Try again in 23,806,376 minutes.
No worries, that's only 396,772 hours.
Join us next time for some more signs of the time in only 1,209,600 seconds.
Hello and welcome to FUTube, the home of constructive consumer criticism.
Come on, Apple, I expected better from you.
What a rip-off! F you, Claire-old!
First up tonight is a complaint from Antje, who's unhappy that her hip replacement cost an arm and a leg. Hopefully that's a metaphor. If not, you should definitely sue your surgeon. Anyway, Antje's private hospital in Canberra sent her this estimate of expenses that said her hip replacement operation and 7 days in hospital was projected to cost $13,500. It also said 2,835 of that would be paid by Bupa, her private health fund. Antje paid the balance up front and then had the operation. But then something terrible happened. She recovered quickly and left hospital after only 4 days, not 7. And her reward for leaving hospital early was a bill for $1,215, because that Bupa rebate figure was actually based on a per-night rate fixed by health regulations.
Who are you? You look awful. I'm you, after you got your Bupa rebate.
Now, the background to how that $1,215 bill came about is complicated, but the result was ridiculous. Because she stayed in hospital for less than 7 days, Antje had to pay more.
Dad, what is it?
It's your mother. She made a full recovery.
Come on, let's go.
Worse still, if Antje had stayed in hospital for more than 7 days, her rebate would have gone up and she would have actually paid less. Now, when Antje raised this bizarre situation with the hospital, they said,
"This is just the way that private health fund contracts are formulated within the legislation." Washing hands. Oh, I get it.
We don't think it's good enough to just say, sorry, that's the way it is. In Australia, when you go to a hospital, you become a patient with patient rights, but you're also a consumer with consumer rights. So all the guarantees in the consumer law that would cover you for, say, a 7-day hotel package apply just the same to a 7-day hospital package.
But we have better drugs.
That also means that false or misleading representations about price aren't allowed. And even though the form that Antje signed had some words that gave the hospital anterior dressing when they did her hip replacement, we think it was misleading about the rebate. In Antje's situation, the way that rebate worked was so counterintuitive that it should have been made clear to her. So as well as fixing Antje's hip, we think the consumer law says that the hospital should fix up her hip pocket too. Consumer issues in the health sector are one of the ACCC's priorities this year. Dodgy advertising in health can divert people away from proper medical attention. Firms like Safe Breast Imaging and BreastCheck have been fined for claiming that thermographic cameras are as good as mammograms at detecting cancer. And the federal court recently found Homeopathy Plus was misleading about the effectiveness of homeopathic alternatives to the whooping cough vaccine. That company now faces a fine of up to $1.1 million.
But we believe a massively watered down fine would be even more effective.
But now to a far more serious matter. Beer. And Emma, who noticed that 2 beers she was drinking were making the same claim. And she wasn't just seeing double. This Guardhouse Golden Ale is linked to John Boston, Australia's first brewer, 1796. But the Chancer Golden Ale says James Squire was a convict on the First Fleet and also Australia's first brewer. And despite rigorous taste testing, we can't tell which claim is accurate, and neither can the Prime Minister. So we asked each company to support their claim about Australia's first brewer. And can I just say that in 3 seasons of The Checkout, we have never had such a speedy and thorough response from 2 companies. I thought beer was supposed to make you slower. Anyway, the makers of Guardhouse Golden Ale say,
John Boston brewed the first commercial beer in Australia in Sydney in 1796. It was made from Indian corn and
All right, this isn't MasterChef. I don't need the bloody recipe. But James Squires says...
While there may be certain other brands who lay claim to this title, some of whom bear an uncanny resemblance to the James Squire brand, unfortunately for them, historical evidence proves that James Squire was in fact first.
They even referred us to a paper by an academic.
Australia's first brewer, the Royal Australian Historical Society, Volume 82, Part 2.
Yeah, well, page 18 of the Gastronomical History of Australia...
Back in your bottles. For what it's worth, John Boston is documented as brewing from at least 1796.
You see?
But there is substantial, if less specific, evidence that James Squire was brewing even earlier.
F you, John Boston.
And of course, this whole first brewer shtick is just marketing froth, because James Squire was actually invented way back in
1998 when Lion Nathan rebranded its Australian craft brewing arm and is now owned by the Japanese multinational Kirin.
Whereas the glorious history of John Boston goes all the way back to
2009 when the brand was launched by the Wine Society, and then in 2013 was sold to Pinnacle Drinks, which is owned by Woolworths.
So the relevance of these historical arguments is at best mid-strength, and they've all been artfully crafted in the name of a bitter corporate rivalry. I'll drink to that. Good night.